How many strange judges' decisions have you witnessed? How many times have you watched a fight and the guy you thought won lost in the decision? Ever watch a close fight and wonder how the hell they decided who won? The Art of Violence presents how UFC fights are judged and scored. The UFC has become one of the most popular combat sports organizations in the world, but its scoring system is often misunderstood. How do judges determine the winner of a close fight? What criteria are they using? And why do some decisions seem so controversial? In this video, we'll dive into the details of how UFC fights are scored and judged, breaking it down step by step with real examples from iconic fights. The UFC uses the 10-point must system, a scoring method adopted from boxing. In this system, the winner of each round is awarded 10 points, while the loser typically receives 9 or fewer points. Judges evaluate each round individually, meaning every round starts fresh regardless of what happened previously.
It's time! Holloway able to circle out of harm's way. They clinch here briefly. 1 minute now to go in round one. Aldo just out of range with that combination.
In their rematch, Aldo landed more precise and impactful strikes in the first round, earning him a clear 10-9 score for most observers. However, as the fight progressed, Holloway took control. A perfect example of how rounds are scored independently. Judges use 3 main criteria to score rounds: effective striking, effective grappling, and a combination of octagon control and aggression. These criteria are weighted in that order, meaning striking and grappling are far more important than control or aggression. Effective striking. Effective striking evaluates the impact and damage of strikes rather than their quantity. A clean, powerful shot that visibly affects the opponent will score higher than a volume of light jabs. Judges also look for cumulative damage over time. In the rematch between Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, McGregor landed a significant knockdown with his left hand in the second round. That one impactful moment outweighed Diaz's higher volume of lighter punches during the round. Judges prioritize moments that demonstrate the ability to finish the fight. Effective grappling. Effective grappling includes takedowns, submission attempts, and positional control. However, it's not just about completing a takedown. What happens afterward matters just as much. In the fight between Khabib and Dustin Poirier, Khabib's grappling in this fight is a textbook example of effective grappling. He secured takedowns, transitioned to dominant positions, and landed ground and pound, showing complete control of the round. This dominance earned him a clear 10-9 score. Octagon control and aggression. When striking and grappling are equal, judges consider octagon control and aggression. Octagon control refers to who is dictating the pace and location of the fight. Aggression rewards fighters who actively pursue engagement rather than retreating.
Octagon with his hands.
And again, crazy good Paulo Costa stayed on him.
In the Romero versus Adesanya fight, Romero's reluctance to engage contrasted with Adesanya's forward movement. While fans criticized the lack of action, Adesanya's control of the octagon likely secured him the decision in a close contest. Scoring variations, 10-9 versus 10-8 rounds. Most rounds are scored 10-9, indicating a competitive round where one fighter has a clear but not overwhelming advantage. However, a 10-8 round signifies total dominance. This means one fighter was overwhelmingly effective on causing significant damage or demonstrating complete control.
Non-stop output and forward motion from Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson versus Anthony Pettis.
Tony Ferguson.
I mean, he puts pressure on you like no one else in the business.
In this fight, Ferguson's relentless pressure and damaging strikes nearly finished Pettis. Though Pettis barely survived, the round was scored at 10-8 due to Ferguson's dominance. 10-7 rounds are almost never scored, reserved for rounds with complete and utter domination where a fighter is barely surviving. We may also see scores like 10-7, 9-9, or 9-8, when in addition to scoring the winner of the round, points are deducted from either fighter due to penalty. Check out the other video on the Art of Violence channel on illegal moves and tactics in the octagon for detailed info on penalties. Who are the judges? UFC judges are officials appointed by the Athletic Commission of the event's location in different states, countries, or jurisdictions. They come from diverse combat sports backgrounds, but they're human, which means errors can happen. Judges sit at 3 different vantage points around the octagon, each with their own perspective of the action.
And this is the final round where Robbie Lawler just gave it all he had
In this razor-close fight with Robbie Lawler versus Carlos Condit, the judges split their decision due to differing interpretations of key moments. Lawler's power punches swayed 2 judges, while Condit's volume of strikes influenced the 3rd. The decision remains one of the most debated in UFC history. Let's explore the types of decisions that result from the judges' scorecards. Unanimous decision. All 3 judges scored a fight for the same fighter. This outcome is straightforward and clear. Split decision. 2 judges score for one fighter, while the 3rd scores for the other. This often happens in tightly contested fights. Majority decision. 2 judges score for one fighter, and the 3rd declares a draw. Draw. A fight can end in a draw if 2 judges score it evenly, or if penalties and 10-8 rounds offset each other. Controversial decisions are part of UFC history, often stemming from subjective interpretations of the scoring criteria. Many fans believed Reyes won the first 3 rounds of that fight, but judges awarded the decision to Jones, citing his strong finish and control in later rounds. The debate highlighted the weight judges place on each scoring criterion. It is subjective and open to interpretation and the perspectives of the judges. To better understand UFC scoring, keep these tips in mind. Focus on impact and damage over sheer numbers and volume. Remember that grappling success is measured by its effectiveness, not just attempts. And judges' angles may limit what they see, contributing to controversial calls.
And there, both fighters got a little more aggressive.
In a fight between Anderson Silva and Michael Bisping, Silva's flashy techniques and near knockout were memorable, but Bisping's consistent striking and octagon control ultimately won him the decision. The UFC scoring system is designed to reward fighters who show clear dominance and effectiveness, whether through striking, grappling, or controlling the fight's pace. While it's not perfect, understanding the rules helps us appreciate the complexity and strategy of mixed martial arts. What are your thoughts on some of the most controversial decisions in UFC history? Drop your opinions in the comments below. And remember, every fight tells a story, one that's not always reflected on the scorecards.